Hi friends, it's Lisa Mears here, and today I'm sharing the brand new October 2025 club products from the Stamps of Life. This month's theme is absolutely adorable. We've got the Peking Critters Stamp and Die Hard Club sets that feature a dog, a mouse, and a bear. So if you're part of the Stamp Club, you're going to receive this stamp set this month. You see the little critters that are peeking over the edge with some speech bubbles and sentiments that you can stamp right inside those speech bubbles, such as hang in there, hello there, you've got this, and several others. If you're a member of the Die Hard Club, you'll receive the stamp set plus the coordinating dies to cut the stamps out. Now let's move on to the card kit. This card kit coordinates with these cute little critters, and it has lots of fun pattern papers, embellishments, and a really fun die, which you'll see in just a minute, that coordinates with this set. So this card kit is called You Deserve a High Five, and here's the inspiration card. In this card kit, you get a large storage envelope to store your cardstock or your club contents, and you also get A2 size envelopes, and this month your envelopes are in the vanilla color. For the cardstock colors, you get the colors cherry, poppy, slate, sunflower, artichoke, ginger snap, chocolate, cloud, and you get 4 sheets of the vanilla cardstock, which is like an ivory, it's off-white color cardstock. So there's your color palette, and this month's palette works great not only for feminine cards but masculine cards as well. Next up is the paper pad. You get these cute little critters. On the first sheet, the reverse of all of these sheets is a polka dot pattern in the various colors of the color palette. You also get a sheet of the words You Deserve a High Five. That's the name of this card kit, and you also get a word die that corresponds to that text. And when you die cut that word die, it is in that same font that you saw there in the paper pad. There's another polka dot pattern. You also get these critters that you can die cut with your coordinating dies if you get the Die Hard Club die set. So you can use those dies to cut all of those little critters out in the paper pad. You also get a sheet of these speech bubbles. There's some more polka dots. So you have the poppy and the chocolate, and then there is the sunflower design. There's some more little critters you can cut out, but these little critters, you need another set of dies. That is the More Peking Critters dies, and if you want to get those, it is an additional purchase on the Stamps of Life website. There's more polka dots. You get some stripes and more polka dots in the ginger snap and the chocolate pattern, and more of those critters. There's a solid cherry, and there's a small of the You Deserve a High Five. There's some more polka dots and some multicolored polka dots, and then some smaller callouts or speech bubbles. Another solid, and then it starts right back over to the beginning. You get 2 sheets of each one of those designs. So here's a fun die set that's also included in the card kit. It's the A1 Talk Bubble Fold It die set. There are 3 dies in this set in which you can make a layered talk bubble to put on an A2 size card or use as a shaped card. And I'll show you how to do both of those here momentarily. You also get some brown gingham bows and some stickers. These are the critters with some sentiments on them. So it looks like they're holding up some signs with different sentiments. You get some smaller ones and some larger ones, as well as some felt talk bubbles in different colors. These felt talk bubbles have felt hearts in the center. There's also a pack of silver dots that you can put as embellishments on your cards, and then you get a brown gingham ribbon, and that ribbon matches the bows that are included in the kit. So that concludes the card kit for October of 2025. If you are interested in joining any of these clubs, be sure to check the link in the description box below for how to sign up or even just get more information on the clubs themselves. If you are interested in joining, I always appreciate when you use my coupon code Lisa Mears because I do get a small commission at no extra cost to you. In addition, you will get $5 in bonus club points to spend in the Stamps of Life store. There are perks to being a club member, such as a free limited edition gift 2 to 3 times a year that the Stamps of Life will add to your club kits. You also get a yearly anniversary gift certificate that you can spend in the Stamps of Life store, and you can also receive up to 15% off discount on all website orders. There's lots of other perks, and check the link down in the description box so that you can find out more. So let's go ahead and make some cards with these club products. I want to start out by using the Talk Bubble Folded Die Set. This die set has 3 dies. You can use all of them as layering dies, so they're kind of like nesting dies. One is a little bit larger than the other, and there are 3 different sizes. So you can use all of them to create a layered look, just like you see it here, the blue, the white, and the yellow cardstock. Or you can use 1 or 2, however many you want. I'm going to use 2 of them for this card. I used the middle size one as well as the larger one, so I die cut with the middle size die, the You Deserve a High Five pattern paper, and then the larger die, I die cut the Poppy cardstock. And I'm just going to adhere those 2 pieces together. I also cut a piece of the blue polka dot pattern paper to 4 inches by 5¼ inches. And I'm going to place my talk bubble at the top of that pattern paper. It's going to extend off of the sides and the top, and that's the look I'm going for. I'm going to put some foam. So this is double-sided adhesive foam to pop up the speech bubble on the card. So this speech bubble is going to act as if it's kind of like a cloud in the sky. It's going to extend off the edges of that blue pattern paper, but in just a minute I am going to trim it so that the speech bubble is flush with the edges of the blue pattern paper. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the double-sided adhesive backing on the speech bubble and just line it up and place that pattern paper right on top there of the speech bubble so that the speech bubble is at the top of that pattern paper. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to use my long straight edge scissors to trim the excess cardstock from that speech bubble off of that card. And you can see all of that dimension because I added it with foam. Okay, so next I'm going to use the artichoke cardstock as well as a grass die from my stash, and I'm die cutting a piece of the artichoke cardstock. I did cut that artichoke cardstock down to 4 inches wide before die cutting it, because it is going to go at the bottom of that card panel, and the card panel itself is 4 inches wide. Now if you don't cut it down to 4 inches before you die cut your grass, it's okay because you could always trim off the excess with your scissors. So the die that I used is a die from Sunny Studio Stamps. I will have it linked down below as well as on my blog. It does die cut out 2 pieces of grass, and you can basically just pick which style you want to use. I'm going to have this little critter extending from the behind the grass like he's peeking. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down the mouse to the card. And then after he's glued down, I'll go ahead and glue the grass to the bottom of the card. Now if you don't have a grass die, you can always take a piece of the artichoke cardstock and just cut with your scissors a little hill shape. Instead of giving you the edges for the grass, it'll still give you a little hill shape, which will be fine too. It'll look like a little hill or mountain there in front of the mouse. Next, I'm just going to add that layer to a piece of the poppy cardstock. The poppy cardstock is 4¼ by 5½ inches. I'm also going to be bringing in the ribbon and a bow. So I'm just going to cut some of the ribbon off. I'm going to put the ribbon at the top edge of the card layer. So I'm going to take a piece of double-sided tape and just put a piece of that tape right along the top edge of that card panel, the panel that has the "You deserve a high five." And then I'm going to take the ribbon and I'm going to press that down right on top of the double-sided adhesive tape. I'll wrap the ends around the back of that card panel and I'll just tape them down with my double-sided adhesive tape. I will trim off some of the excess on the one side of the ribbon and tape that down as well. And then I'm going to add that panel to a white A2 size card base. So I'll just put glue on the back of that panel and add it to the card base. I love how the bows and the ribbon coordinate this month. So now I'm going to take a bow and put a glue dot on the back and put it on top of that ribbon. If you wanted to decorate this a little bit more, you could always add some flowers in the grass. I think that would make for a really cute little garden scene. I'm going to take one of the speech bubbles from the paper pad and I'm just going to stamp a sentiment from the stamp set inside. Mine says hello there and I'm just going to stick it there next to the mouse to fill in some of the empty space there. And that's going to complete my card. For my next card, I'm going to use 3 of the talk bubbles or speech bubbles and I'm going to stamp sentiments inside. Now keep in mind that these are already colored for me. I just die cut them from the paper pad. If you needed more, you can use the ones that are in the stamp set by just stamping them out and then of course you'd have to color them in, or you can stamp them on colored cardstock if you don't want to have to color them with markers, because the cardstock would be the color for these talk bubbles. So I stamped one out saying hugs. I'm going to stamp another one that says you've got this, and a third one that says hang in there. And I'm just using some black ink for all 3. For this card, I'll be using my Scrapbookcom nested stitched scallop frame die. The largest one I die cut out of the chocolate cardstock, so I'll have a chocolate colored frame around this pattern paper. The pattern paper I cut to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And I'm going to use some foam behind the scallop frame. If you wanted to create a shaker card with the frame, you totally can. You would just need to put a piece of acetate behind the frame and then add the foam. But I am not going to make this a shaker card today. I just want this scallop frame to be a little bit higher on my card so that it has a little bit of dimension on the card. So that's why I'm putting the foam behind all 4 of the sides. And then I'm just going to remove the backing and I'm going to put that on my polka dot pattern paper. Next, I'm going to use the dog die cut piece from the paper pad and add some foam behind the dog. I'm not going to put foam close to the bottom edge just because the bottom edge is going to be adhered to that scalloped frame. I'm actually going to put a little bit of glue along the bottom edge so that will be attached to the frame itself. So it looks like the little dog is peeking over the bottom of that frame. It's so cute. And then I'm just going to add these little speech bubbles above the dog inside the frame. 2 of them are going to be attached flat to the card panel. And then the hugs speech bubble is going to be popped up so that it has a little bit of dimension. I'm going to bring in one of the bows. I'm adding a glue dot to the back and I'm going to add that bow in the top right hand corner of my card panel, and then I'm going to put that card panel on an A2 size card base. And that will complete my second card. For my next card, I cut the sunflower pattern paper to 4x5 and the chocolate cardstock to 4¼ by 5½ inches, and I'm just going to layer those two pieces together. This card is going to be more of a masculine card with the color palette that I've chosen, and I'm not going to add any ribbon or bows because I want to keep it masculine. So I am going to be using this talk bubble. I have 3 different layers here. The bottom layer is the chocolate cardstock, the middle layer is the pattern paper, and then the top layer is the vanilla cardstock. So I'm just layering all 3 of those together. I'm going to bring in the word die, "You Deserve a High Five," and I die cut the words out of the chocolate cardstock, and the shadow for that die is out of the sunflower cardstock. And I'm going to layer those together. I love how large this word die is. It fits perfectly in the center of that talk bubble. I'm going to bring in the little bear. He's going to go at the bottom right hand corner of the card, but before I add him, I am going to add the sentiment to the middle of the talk bubble. And then I'm just going to position it so that it's a little bit tilted, and I'll add that to my card panel. And then I'm going to add the bear in the lower right corner of the card panel like he's peeking over the edge. And then I'm going to add that to an A2 size card base. And then that's going to complete this card. And then for my next card, I want to use this same talk bubble die set. I'm going to be creating a shaped card. I just want to show you how you can create this into a card itself in case you're not familiar with that. I have the slate cardstock on the bottom, the poppy cardstock in the middle, and the pattern paper on top. The "You Deserve a High Five" word die is out of the chocolate cardstock and the ivory cardstock. I also took a couple of the little critters from the paper pad and I fussy cut them out of the paper pad because I'm going to include these little ones on this shaped card. They're going to be peeking up from behind the sentiment. The larger critters were a little bit too large for the front of this shaped card, so that's why I chose to go with the smaller critters from the paper pad. So I'm going to go ahead and add the sentiment there. I'm going to glue down these little critters and kind of tuck them behind the sentiment. And I'm also going to add one of the bows to this card. So I'm just going to add a little piece of the glue dot and then add that to the card up at the top on the left side. This is super easy to add into a shaped card. You just need to use the largest die from the die set and take a piece of cardstock that you want for your card base and fold it in half. Then take the largest die and place it so that the left edge of that die is slightly to the left of the fold in the cardstock. And then run that through your die cutting machine, and that gives you your card base. Next, I'm going to take that largest die again. I die cut another piece of the vanilla cardstock because that piece is going to go on the back of my card panel. And the reason I'm doing that is that when I add that then to the card base, the back side of that card is going to be all of the vanilla color. If I don't add that extra panel to the back and I add my panel to the card base as it is now, you'll see a little bit of the blue peeking out on the left edge. So if you want the back side to be all one color, just add another panel in the same color as the card base. So I'll go ahead and put glue on the back of the talk bubble, add it to the ivory talk bubble shape, and then add that to the card base. Next, I'm going to add a few of the silver little gems to the front. I'll add 3 of them to the front of the card. And that's going to complete this card. I love how those little critters are peeking out from the top of that sentiment. It's so cute. So once again, here are all the cards that I created with this month's club products. I would love to hear which card is your favorite, so leave me a comment down below. Once again, if you're interested in finding out more about these clubs or interested in any of the products that I've used today, check the description box of this YouTube video for product links. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.